Good evening, you two. Welcome back.
to the Degenerate Channel.
The Degenerate Channel, yeah. A couple of degenerates here.
Woo!
But I can tell you three guys that weren't degenerates, and that's Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Don't ever talk like that about Emerson,
They're
Lake, and Palmer. They're not degenerates at all. And this first album ever entitled Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Go figure. How creative, right?
Yeah.
And I have this one on cassette. I have reviewed one other Emerson, Lake and Palmer album, and it was on vinyl. It's called Trilogy. It came out after this. I believe it was their third studio album. Go back and check it out if you feel so inclined and you're so curious about Emerson, Lake and Palmer. But Keith Emerson, classically trained keyboardist, came from a group called the Atomic. No, he came from the Nice. He came from the Nice, which was a psychedelic European band. And it was Greg Lake that came from King Crimson. He was on their first two albums, probably their best, arguably their best. And then he formed his own thing with Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer on drums. And stars were born. They put out some good albums, had some great tours, introduced something a little interesting into the rock scene. A trio, centered around the keyboards and the Moog synthesizer and all that implies, all kinds of piano work on this, synthesizer work, keyboard work. I mean, just a virtuoso, Keith Emerson was. Carl Palmer, he came from the Atomic Rooster, which was picked up from the ruins of the Crazy World of Arthur Brown group that broke up. Carl Palmer drummed during that transition. Now, what other channel talks about the Crazy World of Arthur Brown? Or Atomic Rooster, for that matter? See, where else are you going to get this kind of content, people? Come on. I know, she's so excited. This only had, 4 or 5 songs on it? 5 songs. They all have multiple parts, a la King Crimson. It comes in at 42 minutes and change, which is kind of long for a debut album. These guys had a lot to say right out of the gate. Very solid early prog album. Came out in 1971, probably very early 1971. Another big signing by Atlantic Recording Corporation. They were on a big roll, having signed Led Zeppelin a couple of years earlier. Atlantic was on their way. And I have other Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I have some on CD, and I think I have one other cassette. Which ones, you may ask? You're going to have to keep watching to find out. That'll keep them on the edge of their seat, right? Huh? Can barely contain yourselves. More ELP talk. Like I said, there's not much to say about an album except it's a real good looking, the cassette, it doesn't have the charm that a vinyl record does, but it's a nice clean cassette, played very well. Nothing to get scratched up in there. Lightly used, obviously, right? And I've had it for about 40 years. At least 40 years. I'd say more like 45. It's a 45-year-old cassette, still in the case, and that's why I've had it for 45 years, because it always ended up in the case. We've had this talk before on the channel, right? About protecting the music at all costs. All right, let's go over that track listing, but before we do that, we're going to talk about subscriptions.
They already get it. We don't.
If you're new to the channel, welcome. There could be somebody new. It's possible. We talk about
rock and roll.
Rock and roll all day and all night, right? And, I'm not even going to talk about people not subscribing, because I don't think there's any people like that left. I think our audience is our audience, but I still got to make the pitch, Let's get back to that track listing I promised you. Starts off with The Barbarian, which had some pretty bombastic keyboard and drum work on it. It's an instrumental. Then the ballad Take a Pebble, sung by Greg Lake. Sounded very King Crimson-ish. Then Knife Edge, That's another instrumental, I believe. The Three Fates, separated into three parts: Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. I don't even know if I said that right. I've never said that out loud. But yeah, that was a big keyboard fest. A lot of piano, a lot of Moog synthesizer. Tank after that is a showcase for Carl Palmer, the drummer, and his pretty revolutionary style of drumming. He had his own thing going on, to be very well respected amongst rock drummers. I always loved Carl Palmer. And it finishes with their best song on the record, and would make it the best song up to that point, is Lucky Man. I'm sure played at every concert they ever did. It's a big smash for him right out of the gate. Still heard on rock and roll radio, the old school rock to this day. And like I said, the trio was on its way. What will I dig up next? You're going to have to tune in and find out. Pick something out. Will it be a CD? Will it be a vinyl record? Will it be a cassette? Who knows? That's the beauty of the channel. We can do whatever we want. So, until then, you two, thank you and good night.
Peace out.